Okay, so we're sitting here looking at my channel. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple of things here. Okay, this is the inside. This is my channel. Here's live streams, okay? See, I've got it under live streams right here. I want to show you something. Here's last night's show. Right here, last night's show. 3 hours and 34 minutes and 5 seconds or 6 seconds. So 3 hours and 34 minutes. Here's last week's show. Okay? Now you're wondering why I'm showing you that. Because I'm about to show you something. That's why. So here we are on my page, and this is what you see when you come to my page. So let's go ahead. These are the videos you'll see in the order they are on my page. So let's click on this. It says 3 hours and 34 minutes. Yes, I did a 3 hour and 34 minute live stream last night. So let's open it.
You left your troubles.
Oh no, look. An hour and 58 minutes. That's right. So there's only an hour and 58 minutes here. Where's the rest of my show? Now let's pay attention. Let's start the show and let's listen for a couple minutes. I want you to pay attention to something.
He said, he is, I've listened to his live streams. He is so blatantly honest.
Oh my God, my show starts with Steve Hoka. That's not even the beginning of the show. So the beginning of the show is completely missing. Now I had the OBS Studio and Zoom both crash last night during the show. Okay, so since the OBS Studio and Zoom both crashed, and I had to come back up, but it didn't crash at the beginning of the show. Steve Hoka was not in my show at the beginning of the show. And who's the first person you hear?
There's way more dudes. It's just that simple. And there's
Steve Hoka. So now I'm showing you that. I want you to pay attention to something. See? The OBS Studio records everything for me, and it's archived on my computer. Here's last night's show, both of these. Let's go to this one. Now I want you to listen, because here's the real beginning of my show. Of the show, so.
You got it. You won't talk about it. We'll talk about something
Okay,
else.
we'll talk about that tomorrow, but anyhow,
Yeah, fair.
okay, now that you have audio, other people might hear you. So, what I was waiting for to happen happened. Okay, and I can't bring that up. That's personal between him and I. And I'll leave it at that, okay? So, but I'm going to go forward with that, okay? And I'm going to bring this into show tonight. And I want to talk about some things first off. I want to give you an example, okay, for people who don't realize it. You know, I grew up in the 60s and 70s, and I can tell you this. There's the beginning of my show, people. Here's the last part after.
Oh, okay.
And I
Well,
think
I'll start with it.
I lost the live stream as well. Okay? I mean,
Okay.
I think they're really messing with us. I'm back up live now. But okay, there you are. 29 minutes, 43 seconds, and it's after I got booted from the show. And this is so basically how much time was left within my show. The beginning of the show, though, however, was right here that I showed you. The beginning of the show is not
nothing you can do about it.
with Steve Hoka in it. So they've rewritten my show is what they've done. And then it didn't take 12 to 18 hours to come up on my channel like it's been doing. It came up like it's supposed to be coming up, with the exception of right here. It's telling you we got a 3 hour and 34 minute show. That's exactly right. It was a 3 hour and 34 minute show. See? An hour and 58 minutes. Here's what you're seeing on your side. An hour and 58 minutes. So, What happened to my 334? How come it's starting?
Yeah.
No, it's freaking Peter Richter said too much on the show, but I did come to a truce with him. A Terry gang. Okay, it's all based on usury.
You know what I'm saying? So, that,
It's way more dudes. It's just that simple.
There you
There's
are.
nothing you can do about it.
yeah.
So you heard Steve Hoker right there at the very beginning of my show. So anybody that was around last night to watch my show, they all know Steve didn't start my show. But here's what YouTube has put up.
It's way more dudes. It's just that simple. And there's nothing you can do.
Steve Hoka at 9 o'clock p.m. last night, my time when he wasn't on the show, starting my show. Okay, an hour and 58 minutes long. Let's back up. 3 hours and 34 minutes long. Do you see the deception in your face? Do you see what they've done? They've removed the beginning of the show. They removed where I took you back to the sexual revolution and brought you back up through the years and explained the spider web to you and how they got us where we're at. That's gone. This is the part of the show they removed. It's not here no more. You hear fragments of me talking about what I talked at the beginning, but you're not getting the whole show right here, 3 hours and 34 minutes. He left you the trouble that's happened there. Right here. What do you do about it anyhow, you know?
It's way more dudes. It's just that simple. And there's nothing you can do about it.
And it starts with Steve Hogan. And once again, here's last night's show. Thank God I keep everything backed up that I do, huh? So I wanted to show this to you because they think they're funny. Here's your beginning from the show, so. Oh, how long is your beginning? Oh, by golly, look, I went to the end, 3 hours and 4 minutes. That adds up, doesn't it? 3 hours and 4 minutes, right here. So almost the entire show is right here from the real beginning. Corey in here with me, and I have Ron Fan in here with me. Hello, guys. There's the real beginning that is not on YouTube. See, we didn't crash with the OBS studio until after we were already 3 hours and 4 minutes in. That's when we crashed. That's why this one
okay.
is only 29 minutes long. You add this number to this number, and you come up with this number, 3 hours and 34 minutes. You come up with this number, 3 hours and 34 minutes. So, see, it wasn't just electronic harassment. Here we have YouTube editing my show, ripping the beginning away from people so they don't hear it. Now, why wouldn't they want the world or the public to hear what I talked about at the beginning? Well, probably because it sounds like the real truth and not the BS that people are going with. And they know it, too. They know that I told you the God's honest truth. And they don't want you hearing it. That's why that happened. So what did they do? They manipulated you. Is it going to load or is it going to play games? You left your trouble that's happened there. What are you going to do about it anyhow, you know? Let's go to the beginning.
It's way more dudes. It's just that simple. And there's nothing you can do about it.
That's right. Within the first 4 seconds, from 1, 2, 3, 4, the first person here when the show comes up on YouTube is Steve Hoka. And Steve Hoka wasn't on my show at the very beginning of my show last night. So it couldn't be that I went 3 hours and 4 minutes into it and it crashed and then it only put up the last part and left the first part off. Nope. Because you have an hour and 58 minutes worth here. You see the manipulation? You see where they've written my show, taking out the stuff I talked about, not wanting people to hear it. So I thought I would show you what's really going on, okay, so you can see it with your own eyes. With your own eyes. Here we are in my studio, 3 hours and 34 minutes long. That's exactly how long my show was. Here we are on my page. It's an hour and 58 minutes long and not 3 hours and 34 minutes long. But if you look at it before opening it, it says it's 3 hours and 34 minutes long. Not very bright. It comes to show what they're really doing. And I know why they hid the beginning of the show. Because I told you the truth, and they don't want you to be able to go back to the sexual revolution and follow from the years up that I told you. They don't want you to know. They're busy hiding the truth again and censoring me. So that's what I wanted to show you. The whole show's not here. This is how long the show was. You're missing a good chunk of the show because they ripped it off the beginning of the show. Don't do many good ones. I record as I'm going. That's right. It's recorded as I'm doing it. Always. Okay? Always. See, here's last week's show. We crashed last week too. And it went up in 2 parts. We crashed this week. But only after crashing, it should maybe be in 2 parts at the most. Because I had to come back up again after crashing. But it doesn't represent that, does it? It says the full length of the whole show without the crash. And you don't see it nowhere in my archive here. Nope, not at all. It's not even here. Not at all. That's because YouTube had it first. That's because YouTube edited it. They ripped it. So there's what I wanted to show you. And with that, guys, I think I'm going to get out of here. And as far as Steve Hoka being pissed off at me because I won't drop the name TFL and run over the incel, one day when he's in a cell, in a jail cell or a prison cell, he'll be rethinking the stuff that he's telling me. When Steve tells you he has years of studying NWO, well, if he studied it as many years as he studied it, how come he's not awake? How come Steve's not awake? How come Steve can't see the obvious that's in your face? And no, I'm not about fame. I don't care if you're trying to get mainstream media. If you ever get on mainstream media, you'll be slammed to the ground and made into a nut job. You'll be made into your danger to society. Yep, because he's clearly not awake. That's all that comes down to. And what's going on here? Well, they're obviously hiding the truth, and that's what they do to people who tell truth. They hide it. And that's exactly what they've done.